Welcome to another episode. This is part three. So this is part three of section two for the pre-trip. We're gonna go ahead and try to get this thing started. So in step four, you'll turn on the engine and check lights. So make sure the parking brakes is set, turn off the engine, and take the key with you. Turn on headlights, low beams, and four-way emergency flashers. Go to the front of the vehicle and check that low beams are on and both of the four-way flashes are working. Push dimmer switch and check that high beams work. Turn off headlights and four-way emergency flashes. Turn on parking clearance, side markers, and identification lights. Turn on right turn signal and start walk around inspection. Pre-trip walk around inspection. Walk around and inspect. Clean all lights, reflectors, and glasses as you go along. Left front side of the truck, driver door glass should be clean. Door latch or locks should work properly. Left front wheels. Condition, you're gonna check the condition of the wheel and rim. You're gonna check for missing, bent, broken studs, clamps, lugs, or any signs of misalignment. You're gonna check the condition of the tires, make sure it's properly inflated, make sure nothing wrong with the valve stem or cap, no serious cuts, bulges, or thread wear. All right, so you're gonna use wrench to test rust streaks, lug nuts, indicating looseness. That indicate looseness. You're gonna check your hub oil levels, make sure it's okay and you don't have no leaks. Now you're gonna check your left front suspension. You're gonna check the condition of your springs, spring hangers, slacks, and U-bolts. You're gonna also check your shock absorber. You're gonna make sure they're in good condition. You're gonna check your left front brakes. You're gonna check the condition of the drum or disc, and you're gonna check the condition of the hoses. All right. Now the front, you're gonna check the condition of your front axle. Make sure you check the condition of the steering system. You're gonna make sure it's not loose, worn, bent, damaged, or missing parts. You must grab the steering mechanism to test for looseness. So you must put your hands on it while you doing a pre-trip inspection test. You're gonna check the condition of the windshield. You're gonna check for damages, and you're gonna clean if dirty. Check windshield wiper arms for proper spring tension. Gonna give it a quick tug, make sure it pop back. Gonna check your wiper blades for damages, stiff, rubber, and securement. You're gonna check your lights and reflectors. All right, so you're also gonna check your parking clearance and identification lights. Make sure they're clean, operating in proper color. So amber at the front of the truck. You're gonna check your reflectors, make sure they're clean and proper color. Amber at the front. Make sure it's amber. It can't be red. Also, you're going right front turn signal light. You're gonna make sure it's clean, operating in proper color. Amber or white on signal facing forward. It could be either or. Now you're going down the right. Now you're on the right side of the truck. You're gonna check all items as done on the left front. So the same thing you did on the left, you're gonna do on the right. You're gonna check your primary and secondary safety cab locks engaged. If cab over engine design. So if it's a cab over engine, you're gonna check your right fuel tanks. You're gonna make sure it's securely mounted, not damaged or leaking. Fuel crossover line secured. You're gonna check the tanks, make sure it contain enough fuel. You're gonna check the cap, make sure it's on and secured. Now you're gonna check for any the condition of any visible parts. Check rear of engine, make sure it's not leaking. You're gonna check your transmission, make sure it's not leaking. Your exhaust system, make sure it's secured, not leaking, not touching wires, fuel, or airlines. You're gonna check your airlines and electrical wiring. Make sure it's secured against snag, rubbing, and wearing. Check your spare tire carrier or rack. Make sure it's not damaged if it's equipped with on your truck. You're gonna check your spare tire and a wheel. Make sure it's securely mounted in a rack. Gonna check your spare tire and wheel adequately. Make sure it's the proper size and properly inflated. Check cargo securement. Make sure your cargo properly blocked, braced, tied, chained, etc. Gonna check your header board adequate. Gonna make sure it's secured. Check your sideboards, stay strong enough, free of damage, properly set in place. If so equipped, it's mainly dealing with flatbeds. So canvas or tarp, again, dealing with flatbeds. Make sure it's properly secured to prevent tearing, billowing, or blocking of mirrors. If oversized, all required signs, flags, lamps, and reflectors, safely and properly mounted, and all required permits in driver possession. So the permit's got to be in the driver possession at all times. Curbside cargo compartment doors in good condition, locked, and required security seal in place. So you're gonna make sure that you don't have no doors swinging open on the side of your truck. Make sure your compartment doors don't. Make sure it's locked. So I'm trying to see next slide. All right, pre-trip. Now you're on the right rear. Gonna check the condition of your wheels and rims. And make sure no missing, bent, or broken spacers, studs, clamps, or lugs. Gonna check the condition of your tires. So make sure it's properly inflated. Valve stem and cap is good. No serious cuts, bulges, thread wear, tires not rubbing each other, and nothing stuck between them. Gonna check your tires, make sure they're the same type, not mixed radius and biply tires. So you're gonna make sure your tires evenly match also. You're gonna make sure you have the same size tires. Gonna check your wheel bearings and seals. You're gonna make sure it's not leaking. Now we're talking about the suspension. So when it comes to suspension, you're gonna check your springs, spring hangers, shackles, and U-bolts. You're gonna check your axle. You're gonna make sure it's secured. Powered axle, not leaking lube. Gear oil. You're gonna also check the condition of your torque ride arm and your bushings. Check the condition of your shock absorbers. If you have a retractable axle, you're gonna check the condition of the lift um, mechanism. If an air powered, check for leaks. Also, you're gonna check for all your air ride components. Make sure it's in good condition. So when you're dealing with your brakes, you want to check, make sure your brakes are adjusted. You're going to check the condition of your brake drums or discs. You're going to check the condition of your hoses. You're going to look for any wear due to rubbing. Lights and reflectors. So your side marker lights, make sure they're clean, operating proper color. Red, red at rear, others amber. So if you remember, the only one that should have red is on the rear. Side marker reflectors clean and properly colored. Red at rear, all others amber. All right. So now we at the rear. So you're gonna check your lights and reflectors. You're gonna check your clearance, your rear clearance, identification lights. Make sure it's clean, operating, and properly colored. Remember, always red at the rear of the vehicle. You're gonna check your reflectors. You're gonna make sure it's clean and properly colored. Tail light clean, operating, and properly colored. Um, your right rear turn signal operating properly colored. Red. Now listen to this: red, yellow, or amber at rear. So the turn signals, it could be either one of these three colors. It don't just have to be red. So license plate present, clean, and secured. But make sure you don't lose your license plate. Now you're going to check your splash guards. Make sure it's present, not damaged, properly fastened, not dragging on ground or rubbing tires. That's your mud flaps. Splash guard is your mud flaps. You're going to check, make sure your cargo is secured. You're going to make sure it's properly blocked, braced, tied, or chained, or however you want to keep it from moving. You want to make sure it's secured though. Tailboards up and properly secured. Not exit. End gates free of damage and properly secured in stake sockets. So again, you want to check your canvas or tarp. You want to make sure it's properly secured to prevent tear, billowing, or blocking of either the rear view mirror or rear lights. You want to make sure you're able to see your rear lights. You want to make sure they come on when you hit the brakes. Running lights. If overlit, you're driving an oversized load, make sure all signs and additional lights, flags are safely and properly mounted, and all required permits are in driver's possession. You're going to make sure your rear door is securely closed, latched, and locked. So it's pretty much talking about both vans, flatbeds, oversized. So you just have to know what type of vehicle you're going to be driving. So now we're on the left side of the truck. You're going to check all items as done on the right side, plus. Remember it said plus. So everything you did on the right side, you're going to do on the left side, and you're going to add these items to it. And these is basically your batteries. Going to make sure they mounted, make sure they secured, um, make sure it have a secure cover, make sure it's secured against movement, not leaking, not broken. So it's pretty much just examine the battery and the battery securement box. So the whole object of it is to make sure nothing fly off your truck. Okay. Also, you want to check the fluid in your batteries. Make sure it's properly leveled. Um, Most of them is maintenance free type batteries, so it's you could check it on your own, but it's not something that they're gonna ask you to check on your pre-trip inspection. So batteries, you're gonna make sure it's secured against movement, not leaking or broken at proper levels. So like I said, except for maintenance free types. So all of them it's maintenance free, but just FYI on that. You're gonna check your cell cap, make sure it's present and securely tightened. You're gonna check your vents and cell caps free of foreign material. Like I said, batteries you don't really have to, do too much in, just make sure that it's secured. So in step 6, you're gonna check the signal lights. So you're gonna get in and turn off lights. turn off all your lights. Turn on stop lamps. Apply trailer handbrakes or have a helper push on the brake pedal. Turn on left turn signal light. So now you're going to get out and check lights. You're going to check your lights. Left front turn signal light clean, operating in proper color, amber or white, on signal facing the front. So it could be amber or white on the front of the truck. Left rear turn signal and both stop lamps clean, operating in properly colored, red, yellow, or amber. So that's on your turn signals. So rear, red, yellow, or amber. The front of the truck, amber or white. Okay, now you're gonna get into the vehicle. You're gonna turn off lights not needed for driving. So turn off all your lights that you don't need to drive. Check all required papers, trip manifest, permits, etc. You want to make sure everything is up to date. Don't have none of it that expired. You're gonna make sure your manifest match what you have on your truck. On your trailer, and you just secure all loose articles in cab that might interfere with operating of control or hit you in a crash. You don't want to get a rollover or something. You don't want nothing to fly and hit you in the head. But that's why I keep my sledgehammer in my up under my bed. Start the engine. Let's move on. Now you start in the engine. Now this is where it gets a little into actually testing the brakes. So start the engine and check test for hydraulic leaks. If the vehicle has hydraulic brakes, pump the brake pedal 3 times. So you're gonna get in your truck, you're gonna pump your brakes 3 times. This with the engine on. Then apply firm pressure to the pedal and hold for 5 seconds. All right, the pedal should not move. It should not go to the floor. If it does, there may be a leak or other problems. Get it fixed before driving. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed it up a little bit. Brake system, test parking brakes. Fasten your seatbelt. Set tractor parking brakes, power unit only. Release the trailer parking brakes. Place vehicle into a low gear. Generally pull forward against tractor parking brakes to make sure the parking brake hold. Repeat the same step for the trailer with the trailer brakes set and tractor parking brakes released. If it does not hold the vehicle, it is faulty. Have it repaired. All right, so now get into testing the service brakes. You're gonna make sure it have good stopping action. So you're gonna release all the brakes. You're gonna go about 5 miles per hour. Push brakes pedal firmly. Pulling to one side or the other can mean brake trouble. Any unusual brake pedal, feel, or delay stopping action can mean trouble. So you wanna like feel for that. Make sure you don't have none of these problems. Now, if you find anything unsafe during the pre-trip inspection, have it repaired immediately. Federal and state law forbid operating an unsafe vehicle. So that's the law. Now, You're gonna test your electrical trailer brakes if it's equipped. So set electrical brakes on trailer. Release truck brake. Place vehicle in a low gear. Generally pull forward against electric brakes to make sure that the brake holds. Now you're going to test surge braking. Once again, if it's equipped, trailers only. So you're going to set the power pulling unit parking brake. Pull on surge brake cable to make sure the actuator arm moves. For vehicles equipped with full air brakes or air over hydraulic brakes, see section 5 and 6, which we're going to get to later. All right. Inspection during a trip. Check vehicle operation regularly. So you want to check this regularly. You should check instruments, everything on your dash, air pressure gauge, if you have air brakes, temperature gauges. It's just a list of everything that you got to check regularly. Pressure gauges, amp meters and voltmeters. You want to check your mirrors, ties, cargo covers for flatbed lights. If you see, hear, smell, or feel anything that might mean trouble, check it out. Safety inspection. Drivers of trucks and tractor transporting cargo must inspect the securement of the cargo within the first 50 miles of a trip. And every 150 miles or every 3 hours, whichever comes first. After you have, you may have to make a written report each day on the condition of the vehicles you drove. Report anything affecting safety and possibly leading to mechanical breakdown. Like I said, you don't want to be stuck on the side of the road. Now, that concludes section 3 of the pre-trip inspection. So just remember, I said this one's gonna be a little longer, and we're running into 30 minutes now of it. So I thank everybody for attending. Ask that you subscribe to the channel, like, comment, get your feedback on whatever questions you might have. And we appreciate you supporting us, and we ask that you continue to support us. And yeah, y'all be safe out there, and y'all have a good day. And then, like I said, you got to pre-trip your truck. That's the most important thing. You got to pre-trip your truck. That's more important than you picking up the load. Good one. I'm signing out now.